Grand Theft Auto 3, originally released on the PS2 on October 23rd, 2001. Now, just over 20 years later, we have a remaster that is on pretty much all of the current gen systems. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? I am Calf. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Now, this is going to be more of a first impressions kind of video. There's no way I could have played through the entire like 15-ish hour story of Grand Theft Auto 3 overnight. It would have been impossible. Last night I downloaded it, I played it for a couple of hours, had some fun. I'm assuming that you've came in here and you've already seen the comparison trailers, the trailer or the launch trailer for this game. You already have to know that this isn't a full-on remake. It is a remaster. Basically, the best way I could put it, it has a fresh coat of paint. Underneath the hood, it's pretty much exactly the same with the exception of, you know, they added a weapon wheel, they added a wheel for selecting radio stations, which is convenient, not necessary. I think the weapon wheel is a little bit more of a needed thing. They also improved the overall control scheme. You can actually, you know, control the camera when you're in the car, when you're on foot. They also changed the combat and how that all works. So you can choose between whether you want aim assist or free aim, which is really nice. Although I will say that the aim assist is kind of weird and wonky and it takes a little bit to get used to. I think I'm gonna try the free aim to see how that works. I don't know how that'll go because I'm playing on a PS5 on a controller, and that might be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Definitely though, I would say if you're playing on PC with a mouse and keyboard, do free aim. So when I say fresh coat of paint, the game is really good looking now. I mean, it should be going because it was a PS2 game and it was ported to, you know, pretty much every other platform you can think of, but it still retained that same like low res look. Now I feel like overall the game looks really pretty. The colors really pop. I feel like when you're looking at, you know, live streams and YouTube videos, it doesn't really do it much justice. In order to really appreciate this game, it really needs to be played on like a big 4K either monitor or TV with HDR because it looks really good. I was honestly really split on whether or not I should buy this game or not. So the situation with me is that I've literally bought this game probably like 2-3 times already. The trilogy, that is. Back in the day when this first came out, I literally bought this game for a friend. I didn't have a PS2. So I bought this game for a friend for his birthday. That way I could go over to his house when I would like sleep over his house and all that, so I could play it. I played a lot of this game over the years, right? But I never played through the story. As a kid, when I played through this trilogy, we would just stay up and go on rampages and use the cheat codes, run away from the cops and see how, you know, and then you would trade off every time someone would die. So you die, pass the controller over, go on a rampage, rinse and repeat, right? So when the definitive edition trilogy was announced, I was super hyped initially, and then like they didn't show any other footage, anything related. There's no reviews out right now as of me recording this video, and I was like, oh shit, that's typically not a good sign. But doing my research, you know, I went on yesterday and luckily there was a bunch of gameplay that was put out before it was launched in the US. So I was kind of like iffy. I'm like, oh yeah, is that really that big of an improvement? I was really torn on whether or not I should buy this or not. I'm happy I did though. I'm really happy I did. I'm really impressed on how the game looks and how it plays. So the AI with all of like the NPCs, it's all the same. So like when you have those, there's still all those really weird moments where, you know, you'll be like driving and then they'll like dive into the street into traffic and you'll hit them. And then there's like, you know, the AI just drives super crazy and reckless. It plays exactly how I remember, which is totally fine because it really hits that nostalgia for me, while at the same time with like all the gameplay improvements and the fact that it looks really good. Basically what I'm trying to say is it has the perfect mixture of new and nostalgia. So in terms of whether or not you should buy the trilogy, how it's working is, so right now San Andreas is on Game Pass, and then on in a few weeks, I think Grand Theft Auto 3 is going to be on PlayStation Now, and then Vice City is locked behind buying the trilogy. The games aren't sold separately, so it's a full $60 to buy these 3 games, which comes out to $20 a game. So I would say if you come from actually playing these games over the years, you played these games before, you might be like me and never actually beaten any of the stories, I would definitely say buy it. Because you're going to get more than your money's worth out of the amount of time it takes to play through all of these games. $60, I believe, is a very solid price for 3 iconic games. Especially, you're going to get that nostalgia as soon as you fire it up. If you're someone who's literally just coming from like GTA 5 and you literally all you play is online and maybe you played through the story and whatever, I think you might either wait for it to go on sale or just skip it, because the gameplay still is a little bit dated. I really think what Rockstar had in mind for these remasters is to build them for the audience that had already played them and really geared it toward nostalgia. I'll say this, they could have done a lot more in order to like bring these games up to today's standards, but they didn't. I think they did that on purpose. I think the ratio of new and nostalgia was totally intentional. That's all I really got to say on Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition. Thank you so much again if you clicked on the video. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, and when I hit that, I can monetize my channel. Please don't hesitate to throw your thoughts down below in the comments. I really do try to reply to every single comment people throw down there. Yeah, that's all I really got. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm out.